That is Manchester United out. That is another big game destroyed in. Another big game bottled. Outclassed by Brendan Rodgers. Ole was today. The ceiling, most believe that it's been met. The team that was picked was overrun, was outworked, was outmaneuvered. Mistakes aplenty. And then we make the substitutions and we lower the overall technical ability and football intelligence. Today was the epitome of what is wrong with Manchester United. Congratulations to Leicester. Ole out, trending globally right now. Smash that like button, hit the share button. It's time to jump into this. Let's go, people. Welcome back to the Terrace. As I said at the top, congratulations to Leicester. Congratulations to Brendan Rodgers. Iheanacho, man of the match today. What a few weeks he has had. His career seemingly treading water for a number of years. He has absolutely come alive. He destroyed Man United's back line tonight. Brendan Rodgers, his team was just better drilled, better shape, better system. There is no doubt about that. Superior to a man, superior on the night. But that isn't just where Man United's problems lie. We all know there is question marks over Ole's ability to take us to the next level. We all know there are question marks about his ceiling. Everybody has a different view as to where that is. Personally, I think Ole's taken us as far as he can. And then we have to look at the personnel because Fred and Matic are just simply not good enough. Past their best. Terrible Fred is in his own half in possession. Gave it away a number of times before his stupid back pass led to their first goal. Matic, no legs left. None. He can pass the ball. Cool. But this ain't walking football. Remember that Barclays advert with a 55-year-old man walking around playing ball? This ain't that. We then make the substitutions. Donny, by the way, equally passenger in today's game. Really good dummy that led to the goal. Glad he didn't control it because he would have passed the ball backwards. They were taken off and our more tenacious, energetic players were brought on. We needed that because we were losing the midfield battle. The second goal that Leicester scored is one of the most embarrassing goals I've ever seen Manchester United concede. It was one of the most simplistic schoolyard level 1-2s, and Matic couldn't move. It looked like he was running through treacle wearing concrete boots. Fred sleeping. We then make the change, and you see more drive, more energy from Man United. But then you get the Scott McTominay issues. Lack of football intelligence, lack of footballing ability. Gave a stupid free kick away and then absolutely sleeping when the cross came in. So there are a number of things that are wrong with tonight. Lots of people will go for Ole and they're absolutely justified in doing that. Lots of people will go for the players and they're absolutely justified in doing that. But we need a better manager at this club if we are genuinely looking to get back to the top of the tree. But are we looking to get back to top of the tree? We celebrated this week because we got a new shirt sponsor that's paying us less money, but it's going to open up financial avenues like we've never seen before. I don't quite know what they mean by that. But look how happy they were. There was more attention and more noise from the Man United press and media about a new shirt sponsor than there was beating AC Milan. And then we look at these players. So many of these players are just not good enough if you want to sit at the top table. If you want to dine at the elite end of the spectrum, they're not good enough. And as I said with Ole, for me personally, I'll praise him when things go well, but we have reached a ceiling. The players found out at halftime. It's Southampton in the semi-final. Southampton. Giving up an opportunity here. Outfought, outthought, outmaneuvered, outplayed, better tactics, better players, especially in the midfield overall. Absolutely destroyed, absolutely embarrassed. And it's not the first time we've been here in recent times. Smash that like and that share button, people. Jason here says, I thought Ndidi dominated our 5 midfielders on his own. Poor tactical play. Please, Ole, stop playing Fred. Martial needs to go back to school, is what Jason thinks here. We had another super chat before that from SS, if I can still see it. It's already gone. Sorry, too many chats. Says, good lesson to arrogant and dumb Ole. Monsor says, Ole doesn't help himself when he selects a team like that. International break for the next 2 weeks. Why not select your strongest 11? And that's absolutely right. And it isn't even making rotation. He played too many slow, lethargic players together. Our core, right? Our core was Lindelof, Maguire, Matic, Fred, Donny. Zero mobility. So they just got walked through. We stopped being walked through when we made the changes and we added a bit more energy and mobility into the game, but then we lose the technical ability. What's the answer? A combination of the two. I'm weak at certain things career-wise. So what do? I employ people around me that protect me from my weaknesses and elevate my strengths. It's management 101. Absolutely right. Baz here says, I think Leicester will do better job stopping City from winning a potential treble than we can. I hear that. Hamid says, when is Ole going to sign the new contract? Are you still confident you are going to win the Europa League? Man United should be considered favourites to win the Europa League. Let's not get this twisted. Saying they're the favourites doesn't mean I think we'll win it. We should. We've got the best squad. We've got better, even though we've got holes in our squad, we've got a better squad than all of them. Will we win it? That's the big question. Ole has got to win that trophy now. He is. I don't care. For a minute, I want to distance myself from what the Glazers' expectations are, because Ole's getting a new deal as long as we make the top 4. Remember where the root cause problem is here. So when I put all my little speech, my little rant, my little frustrations all together about these players, about Ole, etc., in the cold light of day, they're going to give this man a new deal. They're probably not going to go that big in the summer and get us the players that we need. We need Ndidi. I heard a rumor today we're spending 50 million on Neto. Do you know this ball turned him down 4 years ago? Neto. Pav here says, I'm done with Ole. He can leave in the summer. I've seen enough. Simon here says, Terry, today's loss is the players' fault. The manager isn't to blame for the players. They didn't turn up and they didn't do their jobs. I think he picked the wrong combination of players to begin with, my G. He picked the wrong combination of players to begin with in this game. And as I say, Ole's accountable for that. Also making 4 substitutions at once. Why? We always know that when you make that many changes at once, it takes a while to settle. There should have been a sub at half time. Maybe 2 subs after 55 minutes. Another sub at 60, 65 minutes. Bleed them in slowly. Bleed them in slowly. That's on Ole. You can't blame Ole for Fred's mistake as such. You can't blame Ole for McTominay being asleep at the far post. You can't blame Ole as such for Donny van der Beek coasting and hiding and not demanding the ball. What you can do is look at the combination of players he picked, when he made these substitutions, and the fact we have lost another big game. Malik here, by the way, keep smashing that like button. Let's get this past 1,000 likes, please. Malik here says, get this guy out of my club. No tactics, not even a glimpse of style of play. Mediocrity is seeping into this club, but I won't forget. Ole out. Do you know what, Malik? The mediocrity is coming in by this board, bro. Because if they give him, imagine we don't win the Europa League and we finish 2nd or 3rd, and they give it a new deal. They give him a new deal. Talk to me about it. Kevin here says, sack Ole now, please. I'm sick of these performances. We're a laughing stock, Terry. I kind of feel like I've got a producer tonight. I love what KJ is doing behind the scenes. Next up, Nabil here says, why Fred has got to do more to get, what more Fred got to do to get subbed? This is utterly disgusting, and I'm not sure about Dean. Is he not up to the par? Manager is 100% wrong. And then we've got another one here. I can't pronounce the name. I'm really sorry, bro. My dyslexic brain won't allow let that to work. Says Ole needs to go now ASAP. Just look at Chelsea. We're going to start bringing the panel on now to have their say. Keep the super chats coming. Let's get this past 1,000 likes where we're live on the air, people. But I'm not even angry. I don't know. I might sound angry. This is more just, if you could produce a game that embodied everything wrong with Man United, this is your life. The big red book comes out. This is your life. we have so many players that we need a player that has Fred, Matic, and McTominay's qualities in one. His name's Ndidi or Declan Rice. That's what we need. At least Ahmad came on, I suppose, if I'm looking for a positive. Greenwood took his goal well. Pogba did well when Pogba had to come off, by the way. I felt, he only just returned. Aside from that, 0 positives. And we're out of another cup competition. 2 weekends. I've got 2 weeks of international break now for this to sit on me. This is going to sit on me. Thanks, Ollie. I've got 2 weeks of this now. Do you know how painful this is, Ollie? Bruv, I love you, but I'm fuming with you, mate. Alfie here says, oh no, Red Devil's Advocate, sorry. Yeah, put that one up, bro. Red Devil Down Under, he's changed his name. Says this was like the first time, I don't know what that word says. I'm sorry, I can't read it. Punching around the box, trying to hit the mark, but essentially out of his depth. Yeah, I don't know what that word says. Sorry, my brain ain't working. Alfie says, gutted about the result, Terry, but feel some fans wanted this to happen to prove a point. Any self-proclaimed United fan that wants to lose, they're not Manchester United fans. And I'll say that with chest. Next up here, it says, you can blame Ollie for the pattern of play. Strong enough 11 to beat Leicester, but no purpose or attacking intent to score goals. Listen, we outplayed Leicester earlier on in the season at the King Power. We've done it. We beat better teams than Leicester this year. Like Man City a few weeks ago. We've beaten Paris Saint-Germain and RB Leipzig and Liverpool this season. Today, we weren't at it. The inconsistencies at Man United stem from the lack of quality in our squad. Of course, there is a style and a system. Is it the best in the league? No. Could it be better? Yes. But this mentality again today, we weren't at the races. I don't want to hear about playing Europa League. It's not an excuse. It's not an excuse. It's weakness. I don't do weakness in my life. Other than for my daughter and my kids, I'm a bit weak for them. Do you know what I mean? They're the only ones who get to see the weakness in the alpha steel that is Terry Flewis. Smash that like and share button, people. Final super chat before the panel. Come on. It says, honest question to United fans. Do you even care about being in the FA Cup? Still got Europa to look forward to and second in the league. Leicester will have more games to play while we are fighting for top 4. Shadman, I can answer that. Of course I care. 110% I care. This is the biggest, the oldest, the most historic cup competition in the world. I want to win it every season. We had an opportunity to make the final. We were destroyed because we didn't turn up today in any capacity. The manager didn't turn up. Picked the wrong team. The players didn't turn up. They went through us like diarrhea. I'm embarrassed, humbled by Leicester City today. Let's get the panel on, people. Let's go. Gents, good afternoon or good evening. Actually, it's 7:05. I'm going to go to Johnny first on this one. Absolutely humbled and embarrassed today. What you got to say, mate?
Fucking joke. Do you know what? Right, I'm fucking fuming. Ole, do you know what? He picked the right team, and I give him his credit. I was buzzing. I was absolutely buzzing at the start of the game. Bye. I was so happy with that team. But do you know fucking what? It don't matter what team he picks. It don't matter what fucking team starts. It's a shower of shit, no matter who it is. It's a shower of shit. Ran through us like a fucking dose of vitamin salt, so what the fuck you call it. Joke. I know I'm swearing a lot. Please bear with me. I will calm down, but in a minute, I'm fuming. How Fred stayed on that pitch for 84 minutes is fucking disgusting. It's the incompetence of the highest order. Fucking embarrassment. I apologise to your viewers for swearing, but I'm fuming. And are you entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not entertaining to you, Alien supporters? Are you not thoroughly entertained? Buzzing off your feet? What a lot of crap. Absolute crap. If I went all the out before, I'm even further all the out now.
Johnny, though, can you see why some Man United fans sort of say, and I'm not going to speak for Neeks here, but Neeks has spoken about this is why people like Neeks don't focus so much on it's Fred and McTominay's fault and we don't play well, because today the team was picked and most of the OLEOUTers were like, see, this is what needs to happen. And we were probably the worst performance I've seen in about 6 months.
Yep, I agree. Completely agree. I mean, over there, Pogba came on and lifted the team, but I don't blindly support any player. Pogba weren't good enough today, and I am Pogba FC. He weren't good enough, and I'm not afraid to call him out. But Fred and Harry Maguire.
I hear you on that. Neeks, what about your point of view? What went wrong today? How you feel about that defeat?
Everything. I'm pissed off at that defeat. Listen, I like the FA Cup. A lot of people don't like the FA Cup. A lot of people look at the FA Cup as a minor trophy. It's not really that important. We only want the league, Champions League. I grew up loving the FA Cup, so I'm pissed that we got knocked out. Especially after seeing the draw at halftime, and you see Southampton's in the semi-final. You're like, listen, we played so bad in that first half, but if we can pull it together in the second, then we've got a clear path into a final. We ain't been in the FA Cup final since 2016, and before that, actually it was 2018. That's not a lie, but we haven't won it since 2016, and before that's 2004. I want to win the FA Cup. For me, it is a big trophy. What went wrong today? Everything went wrong, from the manager, from the players. I mean, for me, if you want to put more of the blame on one or the other, I'm not going to argue. I'm not even going to fight it. But everything went wrong. I know we had to make trade changes for the lineup because we played the same 11 for the 2 games against West Ham in the league, against AC Milan in the Europa League. And you can say that maybe you should have made subs in either of those games, and players may have been rested whatsoever. But the team out there for me was the way we were set up was there to be got at by Leicester, in the sense that they played their 3 or 5 at the back, whatever you want to call it, the wing backs. And the wing backs had the freedom of the king power to just go up and down, up and down. We didn't press from the front. Bruno does that so well. None of the 3 that we had up there, whether that be with Van der Beek, Martial, or Greenwood, press. They had so much time on the ball. And when we did get the ball, we kept giving it back to them. After the first 10 minutes, we had absolutely nothing to offer in that game up until 90. It's an absolute disgrace from the manager, from the players. It was just terrible. I don't even know, man. It was terrible.
How about yourself, KJ?
It's just not good enough, innit? You can see what happens when a club is run properly. They have the correct players in positions that they can play. They have the correct manager with a style that the players can play and that can teach the style well. And yeah, this game shows everything wrong with the football club. People are saying, look at Chelsea, make a change. The reason why Chelsea made their change is because their board and their owners actually care about this football club, and they got a manager in who's good enough. Ole, unfortunately, is not the guy to win us trophies. He's not good enough. And today, the fact that Fred stayed on the pitch after today's performance just proves that it's a disgraceful piece of game management today. Disgraceful performances from the players. Already gone over that, but this is the problem. All the OLEOUTers screaming, "Get him gone!" I'm not even arguing with you. Get cool, innit? Like cool. Get him gone. I'm not arguing, bruv. Get certain players gone. Cool, innit? I'm not arguing. But who are the people in charge of getting that done? It's the same people, and we've got one summer with this new structure. We got to pray to God. And everyone around that it freaking works, because otherwise we are screwed.
And that's why today, listen, you can be Ollie out. I'm not fighting it either. You can be McTominay should never put a United shirt on again. Cool. You can say Trashford. You can say Bruno. The reason why I pulled Johnny and what he said isn't that Johnny's wrong. Today, the Ollie out has got the starting lineup they wanted. Yep. The same stuff happened, right? And my view is this is, if you actually go back to what my arguments are at their core, it's we always seem to want to focus on the top level layer issue, a player we don't like, a manager's system that we don't like. And we're never looking at the fact that, and this has happened again, 4 managers running. We always do this as Man United fans. Drop this player and we'll improve. When Pogba comes back, we'll get better. If we sell him and buy this guy, we'll be a better team. And every single time for 8 years, we never get better. It never actually improves for a sustained period. 2 years ago, it was Martial has to play as the 9. He's waiting on the wing. Now it's like, well, we've always said really he was a winger and we should find another number 9. The problem we have, and I want Ollie outers, and I want Martial's lovers, and I want Pogba's haters, and I want Rashford's haters, and Bruno's lovers that love Man United to come together and realize that this isn't going to change until major, until major developments that the club had done. And everybody's, for me, Ollie has reached his limit. Some people
I look at that team that was out today, and I say to myself, because I think we'd all agree that was a quality lineup. And I say to myself, no. How can a quality lineup? You don't agree?
No, I'll tell you what's why I don't think it's a quality lineup. Technical wise, in terms of
that's what I meant. Yeah, that's what I meant. Sorry.
This is the thing. So technical wise, probably all of our best players. Me and the KJ were talking at half time. but there's no mobility. There's zero legs in the central areas of that pitch. So
styles make fights.
Yes, and then what happens is you bring on the players we did. So you bring on the Brunos and the McTominays. They pressure from the front. We didn't get run through anymore, but they don't have the same technical ability. So that's when you look at the club and go, we have this mixture of players who either have great passing ability but no legs, or lots of leg and tenacity but no passing ability. Our fans are so single-minded. We focus on the flaws of individual players or the manager without looking at the fact of how we even built this squad.
The option.
Can I just say so? Sorry, can I just say, because like I think I'm the only one that's not losing their mind, and maybe it's because if I were to be, I would have been lying this like last few weeks. I've been saying for weeks we're not winning the FA Cup. So whether we lost today or in 2 weeks, I don't care, because when I look at the schedule, May 11th, that's when we have to beat Leicester. We weren't going to win this game. Like we're knackered. Our whole team. We have Pogba playing out left because we have to put him there, and he was never going to make it through 90 minutes. We don't have Rashford. We're not deep enough. I've been saying it. Like Fred sucks. Fred shouldn't have played 84 minutes. Yeah, Ollie got that wrong. Van de Beek should have came off. But at the end of the day, who cares? Like I'm seeing fans go absolutely bonkers right now. And it's like we weren't winning the FA Cup. If we lose the Europa League, cool, lose your minds. I agree. But we're going to win the Europa League, in my opinion. I think we're going to win it. We have to win on May 11th against Leicester. Those are the important games right now. We are deep enough to compete on three fronts. So all of you guys losing your minds, I'm sitting here being you knew that, though. You knew that.
Cam, no one really here is losing their mind. Maybe Johnny. Maybe Johnny's losing it. But I'm not sitting here screaming. I'm sitting there shouting. I'm just laying down the facts of the matter, which is that if you look at one problem with the players, you look at the manager. You look at a problem with the manager, you got to go up and look at the structure and the people in the top, and that's where it stems from. And that's what I'm saying, because you look at our squad, it makes no sense. Why is Donny van de Beek here?
Guys, can I just close out? Like, I've got work at 8 o'clock, so I'll just close out 2 minutes and I'm gone. I don't see how anybody has any faith in winning Europa League, because whether you like it or not, that's just another important game bottled again. Whether it's the players or the manager, I think they're all culpable in some way, shape or form. So why anybody would have any faith that he's going to get us all the way to a Europa League final and win it is beyond me. But end of the day, we're in trouble. We're in trouble. Getting top 4, he's going to secure a new contract, and it's papering over the cracks. I've been saying it and I'll keep saying it until he's gone. But thanks for having me on.
No worries, Johnny.
If any of your viewers have been offended by my swearing, I do apologise.
It's not that. It's not a problem. No one's offended by it, mate. Listen, you take care of yourself, Johnny. Have a good night.
Yeah, guys. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah, have a good one.
We're going to get Alfie on in a few minutes. Go on, Bobs. What are you saying, bro?
Do you know what? Yeah. Do you know the worrying thing for me is just that competency. We have midfielders that can't pass a ball. We have midfielders that can't pass forward. Never mind back to their own keeper. We have players in this team, guys, that are struggling to be competent, to show effort. We've got Pogba came back from injury. Look, he was always going to play 60 minutes. You know, we saw him when he came off. The most scary thing for me is just that there's no hunger and winning. There's no want to go and win. You had the chance to get into another semi-final. You know, you are away to Leicester, a good Leicester team. However, you should show the manager I should be playing. None of them were interested today. None of them were good enough. And they're kidding themselves on if they want to remain at this club. Because how Fred could play 84, 85 minutes. And then I've got to say, Ollie, you are watching the same game as us. What is going on? Change it. And then to do 4 subs, I remember seeing something like that similar. Fergie brought on, against Manchester City, he brought on Owen, Scholes and Giggs. But, I mean, it's a different kind of caliber, right? But to even, what was the instruction? What were they supposed to do? Go and run more, run forward. Listen, I'm not even angry because I'm past it. Because for me, I saw this coming. I said it before this game. I said, I'm worried about Kelechi and I'm worried about Fred on the ball. And listen, I was proven wrong. I was proven right. We're not good enough. We're not good enough, guys.
We're not. And Fred on the ball in that position that he was in, it isn't the first time in that game, the first time this month, the first time this season, the first time it's in kryptonite, losing the ball there. And back to your point a few moments ago, KJ, I'm fuming with Ollie tonight for today's game. I know he's reached his ceiling. I truly believe that. But the bit that makes me angry is that our board is going to give him a new deal. And
$9 million of the Queen's money.
Point where people just stop looking I don't. In any given game, you'll look at the match. Of course, you will. But it isn't going to get better, especially if you think Ollie's a problem. Alfie's with us. What are you saying, Alfie?
How you doing, guys? Yeah, I'm not gonna repeat what most of the guys have said on the panel. I think a couple of problems. Ollie, yeah, why did he make the decisions he made? That's a question that needs to be asked. One thing I'll say to Bobs is we don't really know what Ollie knows in terms of who's fit, who's less tired from the travels a couple of days ago. We faced a Leicester team and a manager who's on the rise. Yeah, Brendan Rodgers on the rise. Very similar to us in the league, and he set up his team perfectly today. I felt he set up perfectly. At first, when I saw their first goal, I was like, okay, well, that was a mistake from us, and you can see that we were a bit tired. But then when I saw how easily they were just putting it through us and the opportunities that they were getting, that was their game plan. And well done to Leicester, well done to Brendan Rodgers for getting one over us. And I think as much as you want to blame the players, I think I'll agree with it. I think I will agree with it. I think I'll say we don't have a strong 22, and this season is difficult. We've just got back from Milan after a fantastic game, fantastic second half anyway, yeah, and a fantastic performance. So to come and try and repeat that a couple of days later was a big ask, but we should have done it. No, sorry, that I don't think that it should have been an excuse that you just travelled on Thursday. This is what all the rivals were saying all these months. If you paid attention, we say we're gonna see you crumble. We're gonna see the real Man United when you start playing Europa League, and you're gonna play on Thursday. You're gonna be traveling to different countries on a Thursday and coming back and playing on a Saturday or a Sunday, and we'll see what you're really about. I think that now you're seeing it. Now you just see us overstretched, right?
Of course.
I've got to go.
I'm not having that, Alfie. Sorry, man. I can't have that. I'm sorry, right? I hear what you're saying. That was stretched. No. Because do you know what, Alfie? Yeah, all these squads are competent. All these squads know what tournaments they're going to be in. So you plan accordingly. Yes, you get injuries, but you plan accordingly. Okay. At the end of the day, this is why people laughed at me when I said from Klopp and Pep, Brendan Rodgers was the next best thing, and people said no, he's not. This is no surprise that a well-drilled Brendan Rodgers team beat us. This is not a blip. This is not an actual practice, whatever. This is like the real deal. He's one of the best coaches out there. Okay, and that is the gulf and difference between. So,
are you putting it straight down? Are you putting it straight down to the fact that today it was just Brendan Rodgers getting one over Ollie? Is that what you're saying?
I'm putting it down to that a better manager was better prepared.
I don't think you can disregard.
Ollie's already done. Sorry,
I don't think. Sorry. I just want to say something. I don't think you could disregard the factors. I don't want to sit here and sound like, oh, we had injuries, so blah blah blah. I really don't. But the truth of the matter is, I'm someone who's travelled, and I've travelled in short spaces of time to different places, and you know what that's like. Imagine doing that professionally. Imagine coming back.
Alfie,
you have to do your routine of training and face not only like a Sheffield United, you're facing the team that's right underneath you. Like,
Alfie, I think Thursday to Sunday, we know it's always going to be a struggle. And that's one of the reasons why Cam says that he never felt we're going to win the FA Cup, we ain't got a squad for it. That's a taken. Leicester were always going to be a tough game. Leicester are in the league where they are for a reason. It's not a fluke. The league table, even if some people don't agree, the league table does not lie. Leicester are where they are for a reason. Just 1 point behind us. We drew 2-2 with them earlier in the season. When we play them, it's never a battering either way. The issue isn't even the fact that we lost, because I felt it was a game we could have lost because Leicester are good. But it's the way we play. We created one real chance, which is the goal. And
without saying,
KJ's got to go. What do you want to say, KJ?
Yeah, I was going to go. I just want to say, listen, we continue on the conversation. Good conversation. I'll go ask a question for you guys. I'll say my piece and dip. Why is Van der Beek here? Why is he here? Because he clearly doesn't suit the way we play. He clearly is not adapting to the way we play. And the team are clearly not going to make him the centerpiece and make him play this Ajax style of football. So my question is this: who and why and what and where is Van der Beek here because he just disclosed the thing way too much. And it's just poor for me. It's just poor planning from the board and the management team. But I'm done.
Listen, we're going to start going some calls in a minute. So we're going to start. That's why we're going to see one space open to bring people in to do calls in a minute. So we've already shared the link in the comment sections, people. We want you to phone in and have your say on this. We will talk Donny van der Beek. What I was going to say to Alfie is this: I agree with you that it's harder to play a midweek game and a weekend game, regardless of the Saturday. The Thursday, Sunday is no different to Wednesday, Saturday, but it's harder than having a whole midweek off, right? But this is where Man United, it's like, again, that's minuscule viewing, because the reason that the game against AC Milan was harder is because we conceded a last-minute goal in the game at home. We sometimes create our own problems at Manchester United by failing specific hurdles, or we don't kill games. Like the amount of times this season where we've been the dominant team, but we haven't scored the goals. So you have to keep all your top players on to the 90th minute. Where we could have had 10 games this year where Bruno and Rashford could have been taken off after 65 minutes. One, you would have given Donny van der Beek more game time to feel settled, and those guys maybe would have more legs. So I think we're getting to this point now because of the way our season has been overall. We have a super chat here, then we're going to the calls that says, when you have other fan bases who want your manager to stay, that says it all. Now it's because of the Europa League. Why did Arsenal come back from 3-0 down? Well, they come back from 3-0 down because they were but equally, Man United have come back. I don't quite get your point there, legendary villain. Please call into the show. Man United have been behind quite a few times this year and came back, and he said that's not sustainable.
You've done it more than any team in the league.
Yeah, I mean, they came back today because they're a decent team, but they all, if what's his name up front had missed that opportunity at the end, they would have lost 4-2. So it's roundabout.
Can I just quickly answer? I just want to answer KJ's question about Van der Beek, and also just off the back of what.
We're going to do calls, and then we're going to go back to that point. We'll do some calls.
All right, let's go. All right, let's do it.
So first caller on the show is going to be Satan's favorite devil. What you saying, bro?
Yo, guys, how you doing?
Yeah, very good. What do you want to say?
Yeah, this is depressing. The fact that we're going to have to take 2-week break after this is just a nightmare. Manager was very arrogant today. I understand that we needed to rotate the squad and yada yada yada, but you're disrespecting a club that's third in the league, and that squad that was put out today. I come out of tonight, and I come off of tonight with judgments that are permanent. I'm not going to change them moving forward. Of a lot of these players that play today, the fact that Matic is going to stay here for another season is a disgrace. Martial, man, what's wrong? What's going on over here? You're a shadow of the man you used to be. Like, what has happened to this guy mentally, physically, in almost every aspect of the game? Why did we even buy Donny? I don't understand, like, the fact that we turned down or we chose to sign Donny van der Beek over Jack Grealish. Whoever made that decision, whoever you are backstage there, you're an absolute disgrace to this club. But yeah, sure. We should celebrate the fact that, we hired someone that's already been in the club for what, 8 years now? We hired him as the director of football. Oh yeah, we should celebrate the fact that we got a new shirt sale sponsors. Yay, congrats. We're really moving forward. Fuck this.
I hear you. Listen, Satan's favorite devil. Appreciate the call, mate, and you having your say. I understand the frustrations that you're coming with there. I'm not too sure it was we chose Donny over Grealish. It was we went for Donny because we couldn't get Grealish.
Yeah, Aston Villa stayed off,
innit? About that, guys, because I criticized parts of Donny's game today. The bit that got to me was what I like about Pogba, what I like about Bruno is they scream for the ball. You know that movement a footballer does where they point to their legs like this, like give me the ball. I don't see that from Donny enough. I see someone who's happy just to almost ghost or coast through games. I see some defend it and say it's because Ollie's taken his confidence away. Ollie's destroyed him and made him like this. Do you guys think that Donny's struggling when he comes on because of a lack of game time, because of Ollie's system and coaching?
No,
or is it that Donny isn't good enough?
I don't think it's about him being good enough. I think it's more about finding a system or finding a position where he fits. I think we play this 4-2-3-1, which we generally like to play. Even if we play a diamond, sometimes that's the case as well. When Donny plays in the number 10, he doesn't play the number 10 in the way that we need our number 10 to play, i.e. the game will play through him. He plays the number 10 very similar to how Dele Alli plays the number 10, a second
Lampard
striker.
best, yes,
Dele Alli,
yeah.
at his best, had
Second
Christian
striker.
Eriksen behind creating. When Donny's in the number 10, who does he have behind creating? Fred and McTominay or Fred and Matic, or whatever it might be. So that's the first issue. So you can't play him in the number 10 because he's really playing as a second striker. So you have a big gap between the midfield and the strike force. Therefore, the only place you can really play him is in the double pivot. But we can't play him in the double pivot because we don't have a defensive midfielder who can hold down the midfield to allow him to play the double pivot. The same reason why sometimes we don't play Pogba in the double pivot, because again, we don't have the defensive midfielder. So really and truly, his position in this team under Solskjaer would have to be in the double pivot. But we don't play with a creative player in the double pivot because of the lack of kind of ability in our squad to hold down that midfield. That's what
Okay. How about yourself? I know you want to speak about Alfie. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, again, I think it's simple, man. He hasn't had a run of games. He hasn't been able to find form. We know he's got quality. Does he fit the system? You'll find out once he gets a run of games. He's not there to just take a half a game, one game every 3, 4, 5 weeks. He's just going to get one half of a game or 20 minutes or one game and expect him to find form. So I think it's very, very simple with Donny. He needs a run of games, and exactly what I'd like. Bobby's just taken it. Neeks has just taken it out of my mouth. There is it's that system that we haven't found to put him in. So I think when we start switching up systems, then yeah. But again, I think with Donny, it's just a run of games. We haven't seen it. It's just unfortunate.
Trolling.
It's unfortunate.
She's trolling.
Yeah, I know. Love you, yeah. We're gonna go to some more callers now. Next on the show, we're gonna have man like Indiana on with us. Indiana, welcome back to the terrace, mate. What you saying, bro?
I am done with these players, man. I am done with Alfie. You said we don't have a strong 22. We don't have a strong 8.
Nah.
No, I'm sorry.
All right.
Fred, I've been calling Fred past the poor decisions for well over a year. Mm-hmm. Why is it only now, people are realizing how bad these players are? We can't create from the back. We can't do it. We can't make the passes. The decisions, the passing all over the pitch today. They couldn't even hit the ball hard enough to reach a teammate's feet. Neeks is right. Can't press from the front. Weren't doing it. Greenwood. I'm giving nothing against Greenwood here because Greenwood's still young. He's still learning, still adapting. Martial, whoever thinks he's a striker, please book a doctor's appointment. Sort it out. He is not a striker. He's not going to do it. You're asking Van der Beek to do Bruno's job? Bruno's one of a kind when it comes to that, when it comes to the pressing. Van der Beek's not going to do that. Terry's right, coasts through games. It's not good enough. We don't have a good enough squad. There's the reason why Rashford is now injured. He's got a back injury, a shoulder injury, because Ollie feels he has to play him. He has to play him. The same with Bruno.
Can I ask a question on this? Is that Ollie feels he has to play him because he has nothing else? Or is that because Ollie doesn't know how to get the best out of other people? Is that an Ollie issue or a personnel club issue?
Terry, if Martial were turned up this season, Rashford might have played less games. If again, I'm nothing against Greenwood because he's a young player. I don't want to put the pressure on him, but if he had scored 5 or 6 goals this season, maybe Rashford could have had a bit more rest. I think people underestimate how bad this squad is. This is such a poor side. How are you supposed to play or build a system with players bought for 5 different manager systems?
Can I ask you a question, Indiana? Do you think that the starting 11 would have been his first choice starting 11?
No.
Okay.
Not at all. Honestly,
yeah. Right. So that I think
he would have rather played a Cavani. I'm watching Martial I'm watching Martial in the box. The guy doesn't even jump. It's like he's afraid to get hurt.
So I hear that. Enough. For me, what I saw today was very simple. I know why he doesn't pick a lot of the players that started together today, because there's a lack of mobility. And a lot of people talk about, why doesn't he start Bailly every week? Well, we all know if you remove your disdain for Ollie, if I remove my thoughts, I don't think he's good enough to be Man United manager. I know why Eric Bailly doesn't start most games, because his body's made of biscuits. And if he plays week in, week out, he gets injured. We basically put him in the shop window as regularly as we can this season so we can try and sell him in the summer and maybe bring somebody else in who's as good but doesn't get injured as much. A lot of the players we saw right there, it's why Juan Mata doesn't play so often, because he just can't cope anymore with the physicality of the league. And, you know, he does okay. I mean, I actually think he should play more against the low block teams that aren't pressing him so hard.
Terry, Mata was involved in our best goal this season. Van der Beek, Mata, Rashford, Bruno. One-touch football, quick. You've got to have high IQ players to do this. They've got to be able to read the game 3 or 4 steps ahead. We've got players that cannot do that.
Yeah,
now,
we do.
But this isn't me covering up for Ole either, because Ole made huge mistakes today.
And I hear you, but it's about the mixture. You just mentioned that you've got, in the 4 you mentioned, there's 2 very technically good players and 2 of the more tenacious workman-like players combining together to make it work. Today, I felt like we had all the technical guys on, but there was no speed. And then other times we play teams where we haven't got any of our technical players involved, and it's all just about the running and the pressing and the the shooting and having the. It's getting that blend right. That's where I blame.
It's about
Ole.
balance, Terry.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's about balance. We just don't have it at this club. We haven't got the players to do that. Like,
I hear that.
I hate it when people compare Man United to Man City. Pep has the players that he wants. He has the profile of players that he wants. Like it doesn't matter who he's playing in that system so much. He can do that.
I hear you that completely. Listen, Indiana, thanks very much for coming on, mate, and having your say. Really good points made there. Top man. Next caller we're going to go to is going to be Aaron's with us. What are you saying, Aaron?
All right, Terry. Listen, after watching that game, I can certainly say that they were embarrassing today. Man United were embarrassing. I watched that whole 90 minutes, and let's look through it realistically, shall we? Is Harry Maguire better than Tom Anderson? No. Is Matic better than John Bostock? No. Is Fred better than Matt Smith? No. Fred gave the ball away so many times today. And I said to my dad, my dream midfield would be Van der Beek and Pogba behind Bruno Fernandes as a starting 11, because then you've got creativity, you've got box-to-box playmakers running past Bruno, you haven't got backwards side-to-side football. The third goal, McTominay sleeping on the back post. The second goal, again, there was no covering from Maguire on the front. Fred didn't bother. Matic didn't bother. And, you know what, I'll just let Tielemans score. Why not? Fair plays to Greenwood, scored a brilliant goal. But you know what? Man United tonight were embarrassing, and that's a word I don't use lightly. And, mate, honestly, just watching that game was like watching... fair play to Leicester City. They were brilliant. Jamie Vardy, brilliant. Iheanacho, world class. He's starting to make Man City fans doubt why they got rid of him if Aguero's going. But Iheanacho proved a lot of people wrong again tonight.
I hear you on that. I want to ask the panel this for a second. Do you think a double pivot of Pogba, Pogba and Donny, can that cope in the Prem?
No,
it doesn't.
I'm sorry. I was listening to that. No, guys, I was listening to that, and I'm like, I don't even do that in FIFA. Like, you can't like, straight up. You got to have somebody protect, especially our defenders. That's nuts.
You need creativity in a double pivot. Okay, what it is basically, it's like I don't even know why I'm actually breaking it down. A double pivot, you need someone who can hold their own. Okay, but both of them need to both be good on the ball. Okay, and what else you need? You need creativity. So that's why it doesn't make sense to have Pogba there, because Pogba's null and void in that position. You need 2 people that are compatible, but you also need creativity. You need someone that's be able to pass through the lines as well as tackle and then give it. You know, and you need someone who can pass a ball.
And Donny Pogba can do the creative and passing bit. Again, you lack for all of Pogba's excellent attributes. Speed over a short distance, twisting, turning. That ain't what he is. The man's about 7 foot tall. Tall players aren't good at doing that. That's why when you look at Indeed and Tielemans as a combination, it works perfectly because you get the best of both worlds there. Aaron, appreciate you having you say, mate. Really good. Top man. Next caller we're going to is Mr. Bond. What you saying, mate?
Yeah, how's it going, Terry? How's it going, panel? Okay, so quickly, I think the thing about Ole is when it comes to player synergies.
Mr. Bond, have you got the stream on something else playing?
Oh, sorry, it's cool now. Can you hear me?
No way. Go on, mate.
Yeah, when it comes to player synergies, I don't think Ole actually thinks properly. So then you play players who shouldn't be playing together. We've spoken about Matic and Fred. You then have Alex Telles, who in so many ways reminds me of Daley Blind, in that he doesn't run into space. So he preferred to cross from deep. The same way Van Persie gave that. Blind gave the goal to Van Persie at the World Cup. So you have a situation where no one is hitting the lines. You're not stretching them properly. You're playing Lindelof and Maguire against every single type of opposition without regard to how the other team is going to set up. You have Donny playing in a position where he makes no sense. You might as well be playing with 10 people. You keep insisting on playing Mason Greenwood on the right. When, let's be fair, we all love the boy. But as a right winger, he doesn't add much value because he's not crossing. He's looking to shoot. If he can't shoot, he's going to pass back to Wan-Bissaka. So he's not adding much value there. And then you have this recurring theme of being conceded from set pieces. Like, how many goals do we have to concede from set pieces in one season? How many is enough? 10, 15? So I think with Ole, all in all, I liken his situation to Doug Collins at Chicago Bulls before Phil Jackson. I think he's taken this team, he's brought this team from the doldrums. The team was really in bad shape culturally. He's cleared out a few bad players and all that stuff. But I think going forward, he's done as much as he can. If you want Ole to stay on and actually do something, then you have to throw a lot of money at the problem.
So
if you're not prepared to do that, then there's no point.
So Mr. Bond, do you think Ole's reached his limit now and should be moved on?
It's two things. So I think we're going to look at this like from like economics point of view, right? If you think I think he has more to offer, but the caveat there is you're going to throw like 500 million plus at the problem to get an extra bit of juice from him. On the other hand, you can bring someone else who is better and give him 500 million pounds, and he'll do a lot more with the team.
Mr. Bond, you put on a great point there. This is why, even with the Glazers being, they're so crap, they don't even see that they could probably spend less with a higher quality manager and at least get the same out of the club. If you had, like, do you know what I mean? It's
Terry, the point I want to make with that, and for the point that he just raised is, where is the longevity if you do that? If you get another manager, there's no longevity. You're going for trophies immediately in the next 2 seasons, and then that manager on the 3rd or 4th, gone. With Ole, you can throw 500 million and you can get the longevity.
But the ball don't care. It's very widely reported. The ball don't care. As long as you're making top 4, they're happy. That's all they care about, bro.
Well, it doesn't look like that, but it doesn't look like that now. It doesn't look like with what they're doing now. It doesn't look like that.
I just want one manager to build a team.
Exactly.
One manager. Or one structure. Now, obviously, this new structure has come in. So this new structure, obviously, with discussions through Ole, hasn't been or has been a part of building this team. But we don't know what a next manager is going to come and do. So Solskjaer's got 1 more year in his contract. For me, this summer, and I said it a few weeks ago, this summer is huge. We can fill a lot of gaps in this squad to say, regardless of what happens at the end of next season, another manager can come in, or Solskjaer proves that he's good enough next year, but another man can come in and say this team's ready to go. If another manager comes in, we're still going to need 2, 3, 4 pieces. Yeah. We need one manager to build one team, and then I don't really care what happens with the manager.
I hear that, Nix. My view is very much this. It's we need to build a club strategy and approach, and it shouldn't matter. The manager shouldn't be a manager. The position shouldn't be called manager. It should be head coach that comes in to take us forward.
Sorry, can I say something? Sorry.
Of course you can, mate. Go on. Of course you can.
Yeah, with regards to what Alfie said, longevity, there are so many young elite managers. We've spoken about Nagelsmann. Nagelsmann is way younger than Ole is. And we have the players to actually play that sort of football.
No, forget the Nagelsmann.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I'm saying we have players that can play high press. We need a few more players to play possession football, which we need to buy anyway, regardless of who is there. As we just said, like, we need a proper DM, we need a right. All those things have to happen. But we have young players to play any sort of football we want. So I think we need to just get a very good manager, and it solves itself, really.
I hear you on that. Listen, great call. Thanks for coming on, having your say, mate. Really do appreciate it massively. Top man. Speak to you soon. Next up, Danny, Devil in the Details, is with us. What you saying, bro?
I'm not going to lie, man. I'm sick of it. Every single time United lose or draw the game, this Ole conversation is getting boring. It's honestly getting boring. If you just reference what a rebuild is supposed to look like in year 1 and year 2, you don't hit all your targets. You don't just trend upwards, right? Ollie's done a 7 out of 10 job, no more, no less. And we know there are bigger problems at the football club. If you give Ollie better players, you will get more out of Ollie. That's just obvious to me. And if that's not obvious to you, I'm sorry, you're not being objective. But on today's game, isolated just today's game, for me, it was a perfect storm of points that Alfie made about traveling, a lot of players coming back from injury, and us not having, for me, we don't have a squad good enough 1 through to 15, 16, let alone 22, that can handle this type of fixture list. But this is why I say it's a perfect storm. Today, Ollie just got it wrong. Team selection wrong. Do you guys understand how criminal it is to play 2 left-footed central midfielders? I don't know if anybody's brought that up, but that's a criminal decision. You play a diamond if you're going to play 2 left-footed central midfielders. You don't go 4-2-3-1. Neeks was talking about Van der Beek. You can't play him as a 10 for this. Like, we play Pogba with Matic, McTominay, and Fred. So if Van der Beek plays, Pogba has to play in central midfield because Van der Beek needs to be fed the ball. The fact that Ollie has not figured this out is a problem for me. Van der Beek plays, Pogba has to play in CM. Whoa. Another problem today. Tellers out isolated on the left. Every single time the ball got shifted out to the left, no support. He can't progress the ball. He can't dribble past people. All he can do is cross. So you need to have something prepared so he can get in a position to cross. That wasn't there. And then obviously, last but not least, the player's performance, which is garbage as well. That's why I say it was a perfect storm. But this team, it's not. You cannot get away with being that poor. You can't set up that poorly. You can't get it tacked. You can't get it. No, you're right. Like you're absolutely right. Across the board, just terrible.
You're absolutely right in all of that. And listen, what you said about Ollie earlier, if you give him better players, you'll get better performances. I agree. But my point is this: I don't even care with the new DOF and TD. I don't think we're going to deliver those higher quality players through the squad. So then I start looking at it from a point of view of, well, if we're not trying to win trophies, that's been almost confirmed, and we don't care about winning trophies. We just need and we're not going to go out and buy all the best players that we need to do that. Then we just need the best manager possible to get every ounce of juice out of the players that we've got. It becomes, again, my thought process isn't directly about Ollie. It's, well, what's based on what we know, what's best for the club. Now, if this thing with the DOF works and we have a really good summer, as Neeks is suggesting, we buy better quality players, then my mindset changes. But like I've said, until I see it, seeing is believing. And until I see it, I can't get behind it.
This is why, sorry, Alfred, but this is why I keep telling people: can people start referencing what rebuilds look like? Just go find one. Klopp, Sir Alex Ferguson's rebuild. Go and reference it. When you reference it, you'll see you do not hit your target straight away. So if we do have a good summer, right, and we build a better team, Ollie for me's got 1 more year, and then the next manager has less work to do. Let's not forget, we're still going through a process as well of getting rid of dead wood. There are certain players that need to be gone that are still here. Fred is still here. That's a £52 million mistake that needs to be rectified.
I hear you on that. And I know you called
Matic is still here. Mata is still here. Pereira's coming back from that loan. He's been terrible at Lazio. He's played like 4 league games for them. He's been terrible. Absolutely shocking. So the process of rebuilding is still happening. That's why I get sick and tired of this Ollie conversation. You sack Ollie, guess what? Reset on the rebuild. Reset on the rebuild with owners you don't trust, with Woodward you don't trust, and a new structure, which I'm optimistic about. But now we'd actually be putting John Murtagh in a worse position by sacking Ollie now. To be honest
and I understand that train of thought. But I don't think they're like. Do you know what it is? It's the expecting what I feel is the inevitable, that they're not ever going to actually. You know what they are? You know, have any of you got a friend who every time you talk to them, I've got a really good mate of mine. I'm not going to out him on the internet. Every time I speak to him, it's probably once every 4 or 5 months we talk properly. He's got a new business venture. He never saw the other. Every business venture starts. It starts well. He's like, oh, I'm selling clothes, and now I'm selling hats. Now he started doing this thing where he was one of those specialists who, like, he can get your social media posts more attention. He went on a course and he learned how to do it. Then he was a physiotherapist. Then he was a masseuse. It was fairly similar. That's Man United. Every 5 minutes, they change their mind and go in a new direction. That's how I feel about us. I can't ever get behind one person's
But
dream.
you feed into it. You feed into it. Though.
Where? How?
Every single time we draw and lose a game, managers reach.
No. My job on the terrace is to allow football fans to express their opinions and not dictate to them. So I ask questions. Like I said about Donny earlier, is Donny not fitting the system, or is the manager not getting the best out of
No,
it?
but I'm talking about your opinion.
But Terry, can I ask you a question? Have you?
It's just my opinion. I'm allowed to feed into.
Yeah, no.
I
That's
know
great.
you are.
But Terry, have you gauged? Have you published a poll of just Man United fans to see how many of them actually want Ole out? I think you should do that. I think you do. I think you need to.
But you can't run a poll like that because there's no way of stopping non-Man United fans getting involved. But when we've done those things, it was something like 35% said it was the ball was the main problem. About 27% said it was all, so Bald and Ollie, and then about 25% said it's all on Ollie. So the vast majority know Bald and ownership are the real big issue in all of this. I would love to get fully behind what Danny's saying. I don't have the faith to do it. Is what my personal view is. I don't have the faith to be relaxed about it because I don't trust them to even see that through with Ollie. That's why I get frustrated.
But let me be clear on something. If we do not get a centre back, striker, right winger, those three things is bare minimum, then Ollie might as well just resign. There's just no point. Honestly, just resign, man. Just resign. Let
from
somebody
a
else
$9
come
million
in.
contract, is he?
Let the fan base have a little 1 year, 2 year period of stupid faith, and then we can just continue this time loop. Just quicker.
I think even the staunchest Ollie inner knows that if we, as Danny said, if we go into next season with this club, Ollie's at risk of with this squad. Ollie's at risk of losing his job because all of them know, everyone knows, Ollie in, Ollie out, knows that this squad isn't good enough, and knows also that Chelsea are going to improve, Man City are going to improve as good as they are already, and the others, Liverpool, are not going to be as bad as they were. So even the staunchest Ollie in knows that this summer is crucial, massive.
But what I don't understand right now, and I've been trying, what I don't understand is I see it, and so many people are calling out, how can you be comfortable or think we can win it? And everybody keeps talking about the selection of the team today and the players not good enough and whatnot. But and then Ollie not going for it. It's like, do you not believe we always let Klopp and them off the line first, picking what competitions they can play in? Maybe Ollie picked today's team because he's like, this is honestly the best I can put out really today without jeopardizing the other two tournaments. Did we not because honestly, if you look at the team that he put out there, I said it from the start, I'm like, who we pick is really going to tell me if we want to win this game. And when I said it, you guys corrected the words win this game. I believe Ollie didn't prioritize this tournament when he looks at his squad, he looks at who's healthy, who's coming back, all the factors we've talked about. And he prioritized Europa in the Premier League because you look at the fixture list, guys. We got Leicester, we've got Wolves, we've got Aston Villa, he has to stay in the top four.
Let me say this. He may not trust right now or know exactly what he's going to get out of Amad Diallo, but you play Diallo over even one of Fred or McTominay and put Pogba to the middle, it's a different balance to the team. And you probably have to overmatch it because you still need legs in the midfield. You can't have Pogba and Matic. That's going to struggle against Ndidi and that. But that is a player who hasn't played recently, so it can't be a case of tiredness or anything like that. And it still gives a better balance, even with making the changes. Even if you said Martial left, Greenwood right, Cavani up front, you have more width than you have with a Pogba.
You could have even done some
changes and still have a better.
You could have even started. You could have even started with Williams and Tellez, and one of them plays left, and one of them plays. Tellez could play wide forward there, crossing. So there are other things that could have been done. I get your point, Cam, and I don't think it's unlogical. It does make sense where you're coming from. Comment here says United could be liquidated in 10 years, and you can bet that that'll be the manager's fault then. Listen, we know that I hear you on that. We're going to add Drifty in as a final caller. Drifty, what you saying, bro?
What's going on, peeps? What's going on?
Yeah, we're
in morning. No.
We're happy. We're happy. We're over the moon.
No, I'm
welcome to the party. Welcome to the party. Welcome. You know what I mean? But I've just got a couple of quick things I want to talk to you lot about as a non-Man United fan. The main point is, you see, when you lot win things, I always hear, Bruno's fantastic. Pogba was amazing. Don't get me wrong, the second half against AC Milan, Pogba did change the game. So I'll give him his credit for doing that. But it's always the players getting the big up when you win. And don't get me wrong, I'm only Ollie in because I don't see you lot becoming great with him. I know he's not as good of a manager as Man United should have, but I do find it really unfair that it's always his fault when you lose, but never his fault when you win?
Drift 110%. So for me, I'll answer it by saying I think he's reached his ceiling at Man United. So I think I pretty much agree with what you're saying in terms of I don't think he'll be the guy to make us a great team again. I think he's done some very good things. Do I believe there's a system? Yes. Go, what's it called? Well, just watch it. I haven't given it a name. If I name it, then great. Some obscure journalist calls it a name, and does it exist? But either way, you're right. When we do well, it's all about this. And we at the Football Terrace, a lot of our contributors will do that. It's like Ole did the right thing today, brought Pogba on at the right time, made the substitution. There were times in the game against AC Milan, we spoke about it on here, where you switched and sometimes Pogba went into like a false 9 role for 10, 15 minutes and then he flipped back out to the wide positions. We speak about that. You're absolutely right with a lot of Man United fans. It's always the manager when we lose and always the players when we win. But if I'm being honest, bruv, I don't follow people I mute or block people on Twitter that talk like that. If I notice that's their pattern, I mute or block. If they're content creators, I just stop watching because for me, I'm about that objectivity. It's like some days, Ole today deserves blame for certain things he did, but also Ole isn't accountable for what Fred and McTominay did and Matic in 3 of those goals. So you call out the players, and you're absolutely right. More balance is needed when it comes to the criticism, but you won't get that because people have agendas. So I'll give you an example. If Bruno gave the ball away like Fred did for the goal, people say, because he did the same, almost similar thing against Leicester in the league game. They say, see, I told you him giving the ball away would lead to us conceding goals at some point. When it's Fred, because they quite like Fred, it's, see, I told you Ole's system of playing out from the back wouldn't work. Ironically, they say Ole's system from playing out from the back, but say we have no system. But yeah, it's just, as I say, when you actually break down what people that are that are completely subjective in their conversations say, it's so easy to pull it because they just hypocrisize themselves every 5 minutes, and we all see it all the time. Drift 110%.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not bothered about it because I'm not a Man United fan. But when you take the rivalry out of things, you always just want to try and look at things objectively. And I do think a man who beat Man City, gave them their first loss in like 23 games, can't be the man who's so bad that you go out the FA Cup. Like, you have to have a middle ground. Do you get what I'm saying? You can't be so polarized.
But Drift, this is why I came on saying every single time we draw and lose, the conversation comes about Ole's job. I'm sick of it.
Look, do you know what I want to say to that? Yeah, I think personally to rebuttal what Terry said and what Drifty's saying. Yeah, I think Ole has got more right this season than he has got wrong. He has got wrong. In my opinion, he's got more right. Yeah. So if that means that, quarterfinal loss, what? So we're quarterfinal specialists and failures, not semi-finalists, specialists and finalists anymore. Fine. Right. But I think the fact that his progression from last year to this year has been such a progression that it almost took us by storm. Like, we spent months going, what? Is this really where we are? This is for just for that reason alone, I disagree with what Drifty is saying. You hater, you absolute hater, bruv. Yeah, no problem. Next year, we will see if he becomes better. And I'm all right with giving this guy his learner's license at Man United.
What am I hating on, by the way?
No, I'm just saying. No.
I didn't hear that. But you know what? The point that's all being made is true. Like, the reason I am happy for a new manager to come in is I think Ole's taking his squad as far as he can do. And I think a manager now, as long as he wants to come in and not change too much, you don't restart a rebuild. That's if you run properly. But in terms of your point, Drifty, and we're going to bring Adam on in a moment as well. This is what a Glazer, an OLEOUT says. And I tweeted this a few weeks ago, and it's true. So they say that Ole's a puppet. And if you define what puppet means, it's a person that's completely controlled by others, right? But OLEOUT has also said recently that Ole has the final say on transfers and contract renewals. So he alone is accountable for the squad that he has. So it's like he can't be in control and be a puppet at the same time. That's how OLEOUTers roll. They all they want to do is put the blame on him. I don't know why they behave that way. I don't know what drives it. But you're absolutely right. There's never that objectivity there at all. Adam Matic is with us. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm fucking fantastic, mate. After watching that, oh God, it was The words that came out of my mouth were overall pathetic. Just the most inept team performance I've seen for a long time. I've never seen a midfield perform as poorly as we did in that game. It's just simple things, mate, that passing the ball 10 yards that we couldn't do today, that just, I was pulling my hair out. I couldn't understand how we could be so bad. It's not so much, people will talk about not wanting to get at Ole too much. I think the only thing that makes it hard for people to back him is the severity of the drop-off from game to game. It's like 1 week we'll have an absolutely solid performance that we did against Milan, proper professional performance, and then the drop-off is horrendous. It's so bad the following week. It's like you cannot figure it out. I mean, Fred today, worst performance I've seen in a United shirt for a midfielder. Unbelievable. Matic, when Matic and Fred are alongside each other, it's a recipe for disaster. Don't get me wrong, I did not expect us to be pulling up trees today. I did expect us to be a little bit more solid, though. We had players like Van der Beek, Martial, Pogba, all coming in off backs of injuries. I didn't expect big performances from any of them. I sort of lowered my expectations for them particular players. But Matic even as well has not played that much. So we got what we deserved, really. But you cannot defend a team performance like that. Individual performances all over the pitch. How slow, lethargic we were. And then people will say, oh, we played in midweek. It's an excuse. We were tired from playing in Europe. I mean, Arsenal went 3-0 down today and still had character to come back and score 3 goals and draw against West Ham. I mean, it's excuse after excuse when we get beat. And that's what I'm getting fed up with more than anything. It's like we can't keep using and making up different excuses. We were just bad. We played poorly. Leicester were the miles better team. Our midfield, showing our midfield up today, I think their quality in midfield is what our midfield should be. We are miles away until we sort this midfield out. It's a bit of a worry. You know what I mean? I could easily see Jesse Lingard coming back into the team next year. Matic on a 3-year contract signed last year. That's a bit of a worry for me. And how a player like Fred keeps getting chance after chance after chance, having been so poor, is just, I can't figure it out. I really can't. And then you look at the forward line. Every single forward in our team is out of form right now. How come all of them have dropped off so quickly? And someone made a great point to me the other day. It was Zeki on my channel. He just said to me, he said, look, if you would have put Phil Foden and Mason Greenwood at the same level, both coming through into their first teams at the same time, you'd have probably said Greenwood had the better potential to go forward. No bias at all in that. But then look at the coaching setups at each squad, each team right now, and how Foden has progressed more and more and more with the coaching team, not just Pep, the staff that he's got with him. And then I look at Ole and McKenna, Carrick. I know Carrick will probably have a future in there, but McKenna coming in and the staff that he's got, Mike Phelan, and you can see the regression in all of our forwards. Martial this season and Greenwood. Why both of them all of a sudden drop off completely?
Adam, mate, you're speaking
crazy.
And this is, and everything you're speaking about there, mate, is, you know, we talk about it a lot on the terrace, not specifically all of those points, but so many things to look at. It's certain players not progressing. It's the drop-offs from that we can look really good 1 week and then all the lack of consistency. And I just think it boils down to having a squad that has a mix with too many players that are quite simply not good enough at the elite end of the table. It's why with mid-table teams, 1 week you can see a mid-table team look brilliant and a week later they look trash because they've got middle-of-the-road players. We have too many of them. And currently we have a middle-of-the-road managerial squad and coaching squad. They're simply not good. They just don't compete with the other top 4, top 5, top 6 sort of clubs that stand there right now. You could even argue, based on experience, West Ham's coaching staff have got more about them in terms of they've been there and they've done it. So at least from the how to handle difficult situations, there is that experience there from a leadership point of view. We don't have that. And that's my problem. And all of that is allowed to go on under the running of that is all there because of the way the football club is run. Yeah. They help pick the players, they put that all in place. And until that starts to be done better, and the hope is that with John Myrtle and Darren Fletcher, that's going to sort of better itself as an example. But it's still going to take another 2 or 3 years if it's all done perfectly for us to get away from this level of mediocrity because
but
so many players aren't good enough.
Just quickly though, because my other point was going to be this. On you saying that, and all of you guys, kind of been saying the same thing about the squad. And I don't really know how the panel have been talking about the squad, but people I talk to, in the world, Twitter, my real friends and whatnot. We always have arguments about who's got a good squad, who's got the better squad. And Man City will always be top of the list. That's how it should be. That's how it goes. Then after the summer that Chelsea had, some people will say that arguably maybe Chelsea, you could put them, second, whatnot. But a lot of Man United fans, when you lot were at the top of the league at the beginning of the year, were saying you had the squad to go and win the Europa League and to still be in the Premier League. And your squad's way better than Liverpool's, it's way better than Arsenal's, it's way better than Tottenham's, etc. I saw the argument a lot. So it's kind of funny for me to now hear you guys saying that you don't think you've got a good enough squad because how is it flip-flopped like that?
Yeah, do you know what I'd say to it? Because we are coming towards the end here. What I'd say is this. We are second in the league. So our squad is good. Yeah. When I can only speak for me here. I'm talking about what I want my squad to be good enough to win Premier Leagues and Champions Leagues. We've got a good enough squad and managerial team to make the top 4, to come second, maybe to get into a final of the tournament. Let's see what happens in that. Something Ole said in his press conference this week I agreed with, where he doesn't just want Man United to win occasional trophies. He wants us to be continuously competitive and good. That triggered some people, but for me, whether Ole's good enough to take us there or not, I don't know. But that's what we've got to aim for. I don't want to be a team that's up and down like this in form, wins a few FA Cups over a decade period, but never really challenges for a league. I want to be how I see City, is continually competitive. Liverpool have had a bad year this year. Your injuries have played a big part. I'm sure you're going to bounce back next year. What this season has showed us that even with your brilliant manager, coaching staff and system, when you remove 4 or 5 of your top players, it don't work. You need good players to make even the best managers' systems work and come alive. Man United we've got a good to very good squad. That's why we're second. I'm talking about is to be at the top of the tree. It needs to be deeper. Well, you need to be able to go to your bench and say, listen, Rashford and Bruno are coming off, and you've got KDB and Mahrez coming on. Not Dan James and Matic. That's my view.
Wasn't Van der Beek meant to be this guy? Wasn't Greenwood meant to be this guy? Like I was told that all these guys were going to be special players this season.
What's your thoughts on that, Adam?
That then comes down to the manager and the coaching side of it completely, like I just said, because Greenwood, to have the season he did last season, you're thinking 17, 18 goals in a breakthrough season. Go on to next.
Oh. Is he going to come
Can
back?
I just say something?
I'm back again. Sorry.
Yeah, go on, Adam.
No, he's gone.
We've got a few issues there.
Did I go then?
Oh, yeah, you just dropped off a minute. I think
I'll wait if he's back. Oh,
he dropped off. Sorry, go on, Danny.
Yeah, so this is the problem I have. This is where I say maybe people aren't being objective, but I don't think they're signing. Look, if you look at Greenwood, right? Is it unusual that a young player has one good season, the following season doesn't have a good one? That's not unusual in football. But again, because Ole's in charge, it has to be his fault. So he can have a breakthrough season under Ole, right? And not much credit is given to that. But when he dips, it's Ole's fault. Anthony Martial's fault. Anthony Martial's form this season is on Anthony Martial. It's on nobody else. I was raising this point in December. I was raising this point in January saying, how are we top of the league and Martial has 1 league goal? That doesn't make sense to me. We might sustain a title challenge if he steps up. When Martial came back into the team, he was missing sitters. He's missed most big chances this season for Manchester United, more than anybody else. Was, who's recently joined the United show, was giving us the statistics. He's had more shots in the box and more chances this season than he had last season, but he's worse. And his goal conversion is worse.
No, I get that.
So for people to put that all on Ole,
no, and that's it. It comes back down to.
I find that problematic. That doesn't
it
make
comes back down to drift his other point, though, Danny, doesn't it? It comes back to his other point and what Adam was saying. And I know we all talk about it on here. It's about looking at both. What you find with OLEOUTers is, especially if it's Martial or Pogba or Fred or Donny, because they love those guys, is that they put it all on the manager. It's a combination of two. But if Martial is hot 1 year, off the next, hot 1 year, off the next, with 2, maybe 3 different managers, that is
3.
The 3. Well, you only have 1 year with Van Gaal.
Van Gaal. Okay, so 2.
So yeah, you don't know, but you have to start looking at the player. But overtly, you can talk about all this shit. Comes down to who's running this fucking club, isn't it? Like that's the point, because this is multiple managers, multiple times, and I think there's a combination of the two. If we had a better coaching staff and a better manager, technically, would we get more out of our players on a more consistent basis? Yes. Would certain players hit bad form? Absolutely. Look how Trent has been this year compared to the previous 2 years. But then, do I have more faith that Klopp and his team can get Trent back to that level that he was? Yes.
But the conversation's not about Klopp, but Adam just said he's hindered Greenwood. He's hurting his.
I can't answer for Adam as his phone call, but I do hear you on that. We had a final. Sorry, mate. Do you think it would be too early to bring Hannibal into the midfield? I think Ollie will start playing the kids at the end of the season. Listen,
KJ tweeting on the side.
Is that KJ? Yeah, no, I don't know. I think for me, if you hate Ollie, like a lot of them actually publicly state on Twitter, they hate Ollie. It doesn't matter what he does.
Jerry, can I respond to that? Because I've been talking about this recently. When people say we need to play our young players, and they always liken it to like the class of '92 and all that, and everybody always forgets. So when those guys came in, they came in with world-class players around them. If you bring in Hannibal Murphy and you put him beside Scott and Fred, or you put him beside, well, Scott's decent in my opinion, but you put him beside Matic and Fred or whatnot, like, is that helping him? Is that the right situation to put him in? Like, that's crazy. So I get like what fans are saying, like, put in Ahmad, but then put in Ahmad with our skeleton squad when he doesn't have Cavani.
Yeah,
it doesn't make sense. You can't
I hear you. And whatever happens, listen, we've even seen, there was a guy tweeted the other day that said, I don't care if Ollie wins the FA Cup or the Europa League. He's still crap and I want him out. So the point is, losing today shouldn't really matter to you then, should it? But that's the point. It doesn't matter what he does. They're not going to be happy. But boys, I appreciate you all coming on. Drifty, Adam, sorry, dropped off. KJ, Bobs, everybody else who's been with us today. We're back live after Everton versus Tottenham. And KJ's back at midnight with Midnight Vibes. That's 6 live streams from the Football Terrace today. But it does keep me away from the noisy kids, so I'm not going to complain. Until next time, everybody, take care of yourselves. Smash the like button. God bless, and we'll see you all.